Welcome to the second part of your chapter 2 whole numbers. In this class, we are going to discuss the properties of whole numbers that you have learned the last day. So, whole numbers was a brand new collection of numbers for you. So, we are going to learn some special features or some peculiarities of the same so that you can do the problems using these properties in your mathematics life or the mathematics class. So let's move on to the properties one by one. We are going to learn four important properties. The first one is closeness, second one commutativity, associativity and distributivity. All these four words may seem too new for you, but it's nothing. It's very practically logical things. I will explain one by one to you. First one is closure property. Closure property means, for example, if we add any two numbers, first of all take any two whole numbers. You know what are whole numbers by now? So I am going to give you an example. Take a whole number, say 2. 2 is clearly a whole number. And if we are adding another whole number to it, for example 10, what are we going to get? 2 plus 10 is 12. Is not 12 another whole number? Yes, 12 is also a whole number. So, we say whole numbers are closed under addition. If we add any two whole numbers and if the resultant is still a whole number, then we can say it is closed under addition. Do you get me? Another example, 3 plus 0. What is the answer? 3. 3 is a whole number, 0 is another whole number, and we are getting the answer as 3. And if we take any two whole numbers, we should get a whole number when you add it. Then only we can say whole numbers are closed under addition. Okay, I will do another example. 0 plus 0. What is the value of 0 plus 0? It is again 0. 0 is a whole number. 0 is another whole number. When we added both of them, we got another whole number. So we said 0 or the addition, whole numbers are closed under addition. Now, there is two arrangement or two operations set together, addition and multiplication, which means whole numbers are closed under multiplication. Then what would that mean? Yes, if we take two whole numbers, if we multiply it, we should get which type of number? Yes, another whole number. If that is the case, then we can say whole numbers are closed under multiplication too. Let's see example. 5 into 1. What is the answer? 5 is a whole number, of course. 1 is another whole number. We should get 5. Then we can say, since 5 is a whole number, we can say whole numbers are closed under multiplication as well. Another example, 0 times 4. 0 is a whole number, 4 is another whole number. The resultant, of course, 0 into 4 is 0. So the resultant is also a whole number. So we can say whole numbers are closed under addition and multiplication. You may be feeling, why are we going to say all this? These all things are very basic. Why the teacher is asking, why this person is telling this much all? If you have a question of that sort in your mind, let's see whether this closureness is true for subtraction and division. Let's see. Let's take the very same two numbers, 2 and 10. I am going to subtract this one. 2 minus 10. The value is negative 8. Have you seen this number in the whole numbers collection? Is minus 8 a whole number? No, it is not a whole number. So, the answer is out of whole numbers collection. So, we can say subtraction is not closed. Sorry, whole numbers is not closed under subtraction. Now let's see in the case of division. 0, okay, another two numbers. I am going to take two numbers, 2 and 3. If I am going to divide Have you seen this number in our whole numbers collection? No. Whole numbers collection are just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There is no number called 2 by 3. Then I have took numbers 4 and 7. 4 is a whole number, 7 is a whole number. If I divide 4 by 7, is this included in this collection? No. Then we can say whole numbers are not closed under subtraction and division. Over. That's it. If you want to see it again, please rewatch the video again, this part again. Now let's move on to the second property, commutativity. I hope you understood the closure property. Now let's see the second property, commutativity. This is a very easy one. Let's see who all are commutative for whole numbers. We are dealing about the whole numbers and we are discussing about the properties of whole numbers. Now we are going to see the important property, commutativity. And let's see what is commutativity. Commutativity simply means the order with which the operation is done. For example, there is if I take two numbers, any two random numbers, 8 and 4. If I add it, what is the answer? 12. Now, we say this operation is commutative if the answer is same even if we interchange the numbers. That is, instead of 4, we write 8 and instead of 8, we write 4. So, I am going to change the order. 4 plus 8. What is the answer? It is 12 again. If this is true for all the numbers, then we say addition is commutative for whole numbers. Another example, 0 plus 3. What is the answer? It's 3. And is it the same? 3 plus 0? Yes. Then we can say addition is commutative for whole numbers. Now, let's see whether it is true for multiplication also. Let's see what is 1 into 3. What is the value of 1 into 3? Yes, 1 into 3. Remember, the numbers that we should take should be whole numbers from the collection of whole numbers. Is 8 a whole number? Yes. 4 another whole number? Same way 0 and 3 are whole numbers. Now let's see the case of multiplication whether it is commutative or not. I am going to take the whole numbers 1 and 3. The product 1 and 3 is 3. Now what is the rule? Interchange the position or the order. 3 times 1. Is it the same? Yes. Another example. 9 times 4. What is 9 times 4? It is 36. Now change the order. How should we write? 4 times 9. 4 times 9. What is the value? 36. So we can say addition and multiplication is commutative for whole numbers. Now let's see the case of subtraction and division. Check whether it is commutative or not. If you can do it, then do by yourself. Pause the video, try to do by yourself, then watch the video again. Anyway, I am going to continue. Example. Let's take this number itself. 8 minus 4. What is the value of 8 minus 4? The answer is 4. Now change the order. 4 minus 8. What is the answer? Is it the same? No. The answer will be negative 4. They are not the same. Do you get the difference? Another example. What is 10 minus 5? 10 minus 5 is 5. But what is 5 minus 10? It is minus 5. So we can say subtraction is not commutative for whole numbers. Let's see the last case, division. In case of division, we can say, let's take this number itself. What is 8 divided by 4? What is the answer? We know 8 by 4 is 2. Then, to check whether it is commutative, interchange the position or change the order. 4 divided by 8. The answer is 4 by 8. Is it 2? No, it is not 2. In fact, it is 1 by 2. It is not 2. So we can say division is not commutative for whole numbers. One more example. 10 divided by 2. The answer is 5. But What is 2 divided by 10? It is only 2 by 10, or we can write it as 1 by 5 itself. Anyway, it is not equal to 5. So we can summarize it as subtraction and division is not commutative for whole numbers. I hope you understood these two. Now let's see the last two properties of whole numbers, associativity and distributivity. Let's see what is associativity. Associativity simply means if you want to add or multiply or subtract or divide three numbers, then if we do the operations in the first two numbers and the third number, also you get an answer. And in turn, if you add the second and third terms first, or do the operations of second and third terms, then the answer should be the same. If the answers are the same, then we can say that operation is associative. To get a better idea, let's see some examples. Let's try with numbers. If we have three numbers A, B and C, if these are three whole numbers, if we want to add the first two numbers A plus B, then the third number, you will get a particular value. If that is same as A plus B plus C, in this case, the second and third term should be done first. Let's now try with numbers. If we have three numbers 16, 4 and 2, let's try this one. If you want to add 16 plus 4 plus 2, you can add in this way. Then what it becomes? 16 plus 4 plus 2 is 6. 16 plus 6 is 22. Now, there is another way with which we can do this one. Let's try to add the first and second terms first. That is 16 plus 4 plus 2. What is 16 plus 4? 20 plus 2. That is also 22. So if we take any three whole numbers and do this process, this will be correct. That is adding second and third terms plus first, or first and second terms plus third will give you the same answer. Now let's see. So we can say addition is associative for whole numbers. Let's try for multiplication. We have numbers 16 into 4 into 2. I am going to add the second and third terms first, then the first term. So it becomes 16 times 4 into is 8. So what is 16 times 8? This is 8, 128. So the answer becomes 128. Now let's see the other way. 16 times 4 times 2. Let's do the first and second numbers first. 16 into, okay, we should do like this one. 16 into 4 is 16 times 4 is, what is it? 64 or 64 times 2. What is 64 times 2? It is 128. Have we got the same answer? Yes. So we can say multiplication is also associative for whole numbers. So what can you summarize? Addition and multiplication are associative for whole numbers. Now let's see in the case of subtraction. I'm going to give you the same examples, 16, 4 and 2. Then let's see 16 minus 4 minus 2. What will be the answer? Let's see. Or we can go for a different number. You will be learning this kind of properties in your higher classes very much. I just wanted to give you an idea of what is associativity, what is closeness and all. So let's try with another example. Say 5, 4 and 3. First we should add 5 or subtract 5 minus 4, then minus 3. What will happen? 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 minus 3. We will get the answer as minus 2. Okay, let this be here. And the other way is subtracting second and third terms. So 5 minus 4 minus 3. So what happens inside the bracket? This is the first operation that you should do. 4 minus 3 is 1. Then what is 5 minus 1? It is 4. Are they same? No. So we can say subtraction is not associative for whole numbers. Subtraction is not associative for whole numbers. Now let's see in the case of division. In the case of division, let's see. We use the same number here, 16, 4 and 2. What is associative property? You already got it. So I am not going to explain any further. 16 by 4 divided by 2. Let's see whether what is the answer? What is 16 by 4? 16 by 4 is 4 divided by 2. What is 4 by 2? The answer is 2. Now let's see the other process. So it is 16 by 4. Which all numbers we should add first? Yes, second term and third term. Second term is 4 divided by 2. So it becomes 16 divided by. What is 4 by 2? It is 2. What is 16 by 2? It's 8. So are they getting as the same answer? Then we can say division is also not associative for whole numbers. In short, you can summarize as subtraction and division are not associative for whole numbers. I hope you understood this one. Now let's move on to the last property, distributivity. In this chapter, we are just going to learn the distributivity of multiplication over addition. I have already given you a slight hint in the last chapter how this is done. So let's refresh it once. If there is an operation like this one, A is ready to be multiplied with B plus C who are inside the bracket, then A should be distributed evenly or distributed equally to each terms inside the bracket. That is, A times B plus C is AB plus AC. This property is called as distributivity, and in whole numbers this is true. Let's have some examples. If you want to multiply 2 inside the value of 4 plus say 7, then this can be done if just need to multiply each term inside the bracket by the number in the outside part. That is 2 times 4 plus 2 times 7. What is 2 times 4? 8 plus 2 times 7 is 14. So what is 8 plus 14? It is 22. Even if you add or multiply this in the first place itself, you will get the same answer. Let's try. So this is our example. Instead of distributing the 2 evenly, if we do the operation from here itself, you will get the same answer. I will show you 2 times. I have already told you that if there is no symbol, then you should understand it is multiplication. Then 4 plus 7 is 11. So what is 2 times 11? It's also 22. So we can say in whole numbers, distributivity of multiplication over addition is possible. You know why have you learned all these properties? To make you do problems very easily. There are so many examples in your textbook. So let's try to solve them one by one using the properties, all the properties that we have learned. So go through all the properties once again. If you have any doubts, please rewatch. I hope you understood all the properties. Now let's see some application using this property, or how to solve some problems using the properties that we have learned. First of all, we are asked to find the value of 12 times 35 using associativity. To use associativity, we should have 3 numbers, right? Let's see whether this can be split into 3 numbers. First of all, the number 12 can be written as, the question is like this, and this can be written as 6 times 2 into 35. Am I right? Now, using associativity, we can either multiply 6 into 35 or 2 into 35 initially, or you can use your own comfortable way to solve this one. So what I am going to do is multiply 2 and 35 first. So what happens, this becomes 6 into, instead of 2 into 35 I can write 70. Now I know the multiple of 7, so I know 7 into 6 is 42. There is an extra 0, so the answer becomes 420. So it's not easy to solve using the properties that we have learned. That's why we have learned the properties. Now let's see next one. 8 times 1769 times 125. We can use the associativity property. What is associativity property? Since it is multiplication and all the numbers are whole numbers, we can interchange the position of the numbers. At the first place, we should know 8 times 125 is a special number. 8 times 125 is 1000. If you have any doubt, please multiply. So, but I am using associativity property. So, I am going to rewrite this as 8 into 125 into 1769. Which property? Associativity. You should mention that you have used associativity property over here. Then what is 8 into 125? 8 into 125 is 100 or 1000. Now into 1769. This can be easily written by you. Only put 3 zeros. That's all. So 1769 3 zeros. So this is your answer. Now moving on to the next property or next question. Find 12 times 35 using distributivity. To use distributivity, we should have an idea. Okay. In the first question, you were asked to write or find the value of 12 times 35 using associativity. Now let's see how this can be done using distributivity. To use distributivity, just check whether we can make this into a sum of some numbers or factors of 10. We can write 12 as 10 plus 2. Cannot be? Yes. So I am going to write this one. 12 into 35 as 10 plus 2 into 35. Now, distributive property. I hope you remember this one. So, this can be written 35 into 10 plus 35 into 2. So, I am going to write it 35 into 10 plus 35 into 2. What is 35 into 10? It is 350 plus 35 into 2 is 70. So, the answer becomes 420. The same that we have got there. Moving on to the fourth question. 297 into 17 plus 297 into 3. If you observe, we can see 297 is common in both the terms. This is a single term, this is another term. 297 is common in both of them. So I am going to take this 297 outside. So what happens? Only 17 remains here because 297 is gone from here. Now plus I have 297 from here also. So who is remaining? 3. So this is equivalent as 297 into 20. We can easily multiply 297 by 20. Yes, how will you do this one? 0 times 7, 0, 0. Now 2 times 7 is 14, remainder 1. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Again remainder 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer becomes 5, 9, 4, 0. So I have took this question from your exercise part. I am leaving the other questions for you to do as your work. Now moving on to the last question of this section. A vendor supplies 32 liters of milk to a hotel in the morning and 68 liters of milk in the evening. So what is the total amount of milk that the vendor gives to the hotel? This can be easily found. We just need to add the two amounts of milk, 32 and 16. Let it be there. If the cost of milk is rupees 45 per liter, for 1 liter what is the cost? Rupees 45. Then how much money is due to the vendor per day? For finding this one, we can use any or we can use two different methods to solve this one. But since we have learned the property of associativity and distributivity, it can be done easily using the two properties. Let's see. For that, we should have the idea of how much milk is served by the vendor to the hotel in a single day. In a single day, what is the total amount of milk? Total amount of milk is equal to, what is it? 68 plus 32 liters. Am I right? Yes. Now, price of or cost of 1 liter of milk. What is it? It is rupees 45. Now, so total amount. So what is the total amount that the vendor dues is 68 plus 32 times 45. What is 68 plus 32? We can easily add them. It will be 100 into 45. So the answer becomes rupees 4,500 rupees. I hope you understood this one. So please complete exercise 2.2 by yourself. Thank you.